Okay, so today we will be learning and deciphering, going a little bit more into depth into concept formation, which will be the lesson that the teacher has provided us with. Before I tell you my concept, we will be watching a short video in YouTube that will lead you to accurately guess what my concept is. After watching the video, I hope that you have guessed that my concept formation is based on slavery. After watching the video, what do you think a formal definition for slavery may be? And what are the critical attributes on slavery? Um, Talk to your neighbor for a few seconds and come up with a definition and some critical attributes for it. Okay, I hope by now you have found a formal formation and have analyzed a few critical attributes of slavery. But before we start, I have a few fun facts. Paying slaves was uncommon, but it does not count as a critical attribute. It's very hard to perhaps understand why some slaves were paid, but since this is my concept formation, I'll explain it a little bit better. There's recordings of a few slave owners paying their slaves as a way to incentivizing growth production. So that's the reason why paying slaves would not count as a critical attribute. Another fun fact before we start. Serfs in Russia and helots in Greece do not count as slaves. After a small and brief explanation about these, why do you think serf and helots differ from slaves? Okay, so this is the formal definition that I was able to found. The definition of slavery is condition in which one human being was owned by another. A slave was considered by law as property, or chattel, and was deprived of most of the rights ordinarily held by free persons. Slavery was a form of dependent labor performed by a non-family member. The slave was deprived of personal liberty and the right to move about geographically as he desired. A person would become a slave through many ways, including captured in war, kidnapped through piracy expeditions, punishment for a crime or debt, or being an offspring of slave parents. This definition was retrieved through Encyclopedia Britannica. Finally, these are the critical attributes of slavery and are the ones that are considered critical to define slavery. So the first one would be owned by a free person. The second would be spend their entire lives under service of their owner unless owner or nation releases them. Third, they were considered as property and may be sold. Fourth, they were deprived of most rights. Fifth, deprived of personal liberty. And sixth, deprived of geographical location. This is how I would operate presentations through screencasting. I know that the topic was on presentations, but this approach shall definitely help out students with their public speaking skills. I know from personal experience that presenting for the first time may be intimidating, and there's going to be times for many students that they're going to blank out and stage fright and forget all the information that they had planned. Through this approach and method, they will be able to present in a way that they can argue and make valid their points on a topic that they do know. Eventually, students must be able to present in the traditional way, but this strategy shall help students gain the confidence to be able to present in the traditional way. With that being said, this is my presentation sample.